Get into this TVZ getting underway. Couple drones popping out. SCV and a depot coming about. Things underway. Get settled into action. Couple SCV is just going to be mining up the gas, getting underway. We've seen Iraq's on SCV coming about, hatch gas and pool coming in, couple drones coming up. We got our SCV ready to go down onto a natural CC in a couple of moments. Get that underway. Couple queens, bunch of lings, all on the way out. Let's just have our Reaper heading up to the upper left-hand side. Just going to be heading into the top left to see what is going on. A couple queens, the lings, all are building here for the moment. Our Reaper continues to come by. Yeah, the group team, which is nice stuff from Fury as well, so not a bad little pickup. We're just moving about. A couple queens gonna get bopped around a little bit as well. Reaper's gonna come about. A couple Hellions coming through. I'm just gonna be seeing the lings continue to move around as well. Let's see a couple SCVs going down. Marines are gonna come about. And Queens and Lings continue to gather up. So Viking just continues to go after the Overlord. A couple Hellions and the Reaper coming back over. We're coming up, so we're going to see pretty aggressive play from Q. Not really unexpected. It's definitely a Zerg map, and to get an edge early would maybe make this a more playable matchup for him then. So the Ling is going to just patrol out the front a little bit. And still gathering again, a couple Hellions, Liberator, Marauder continuing through, a couple Evos, and the Roaches all coming up, more drones on the way in. There we go. The medevac is going to come boosting forward. Just going to start dropping in. Just going to have our Hellions. Marauders are going to come about. Just going to be seeing the Lings continue to try and go forwards and play cleanup on this one, as we were not super prepared for. I mean, Roaches starting to pop out now. Marauders will do okay against Roaches, but there's just a point where enough Roaches are good enough anyways. They get quite a few Queen kills, so there's a pretty good start here from Kua. I'd say this is honestly reasonable if he gets 1 or 2 more Queens, a couple of the Roaches as they spawn, maybe even get some drones. I mean, anything you get from here I feel like is very decent for Kua, as he actually runs 2 more Hellions and going to morph those toward Hellbats. Medevac bombs the healing is done, but the Liberator is about to show up into a group of Queens that's almost been kind of battered and bruised, however, it kind of flew straight overhead. You see more of those drones still being picked away at. +1 missiles coming through, +1 carapace coming up as well. And again, 1-1 Roach speed coming up. The infestation pit still coming through as well, so continue to build into that. Infestation pit, drones, all coming through. The 1-1 and the Roach speed all coming up as well. Bit of everything on the way in for now. Got lit, push the Overseer away. And a couple of medevacs coming back overhead, coming to see what's up as well. Queens are once again in position. Liberator gets denied. Unable to do much for the moment. Pushed back and away. Marines coming up. Ravager morphs. 3 Roach is going to be there. Marines and the medevacs get pushed back. Most of the Roaches and Lings going to run up this ramp, and they're going to try and make something happen as well. It's just also going to try and move up into that CC. Roach Ravager back up the left, back into the center. Liberator production continues. Again, we have 1-1 upgrades, +1 vehicle weapons, combat shield. All of that continues to build into play currently. So a lot of build-up being established. Definitely felt like an okay start for Kua, but clearly it's not something you're running away with or anything, so still quite a ways to go at this point. It's coming forward, it's going to grab a group tumor, we're going to make it 2, group thread, getting scanned up and cleaned out. Here's the medevac to the bottom left, the gold base. And so as well, going to take a little bit of a stim towards that gold. Hatchery will get cancelled, these few Lings still getting cleaned up as well. Another Overlord on the top, also going to be denied. Some Marines still moving around, Adrenal Gland still coming up, +2 Carapace, +1 melee on the way in. We have a couple Banes, actually going to connect the Marines. Did not have an evacuation nearby enough, or Kua not watching in time to make the move forwards. A little bit unfortunate. Marines will remove the Overseer. It's just going to knock that down. Our medevac's still around on that right-hand side, making a bit of a push as well, trying to figure out what else they can do. And Marines will be back onto this watchtower and loading in that top right-hand corner. 2 more CCs coming up. Kua very happy to play long games typically, and this seems to be no exception as he makes his way towards that later game setup, ready to try and draw this out and to force Serral to run wave after wave of units into him to try and clean up the Terran force, to try and give him a chance to play into a victory here. And that's where Kua's just going to hope to hold on, trade extremely efficiently, slowly take bases, and like I say, just play for that extreme late game, which is what Kua has been very capable of doing in the past. Are we going to get time to even set up, though? I love the Viper's already getting rid of a bunch of the siege tanks. Those tanks going down is obviously absolutely massive. He's not leaving that one alive as well. Corrosive Bars clean it up as he backs away. This is already a great start, getting the Vipers out, being active immediately. You have got Ultras joining the field as well in the near future, so they're also going to be popping out very shortly. They're also going to be a factor sooner rather than later. Wingbein Roach still comes through. The Medivacs have to back it up with the Marines once again. We've seen our Bioforce is still trying to make some moves. Again, missile turrets are still building. A couple more ghosts continue to be brought outwards. The Vikings will continue to build themselves up in the center, and another couple of missile turrets still being added on. Things Ultra Ravager coming through. Parasitic Bomb lands onto one of those Vikings. Another Viking dead already as Cure. I'd love to get rid of Vipers with those, but currently just bleeding them out. That's obviously not going to do much good in the long run. There we go. Serral starts attack on fours. Blind Cloud's already coming down. Banes will find the mineral line. If nothing else, they're going to do some very good economic damage. Playing denial of the 5th base. 5th base goes down. 9 SCVs go down, and Serral is just instantly rebuilding. 98 more Lings to keep the Cure economy limited. The Drop Lords move over to the right-hand side as well. That is something which has also been a thing as of late. As we get our move along over there again, +3/+3, continue to come about. CC lifts off. All the Lings going to get to the right-hand side. Going to jump into the Drop Lords, by the way. So in they go. Going to make their moves. Serral loves the Drop Lords of Lings. He actually does this in a lot of his games nowadays. It's a move which really has become so much more popular than you'd ever have imagined it. A Viking here sees it on the way in. Secure will have some response time. A tank, a couple more Vikings getting set. The Overlords will begin to unload. We lose almost a full one. If nothing else, Serral might just take this as an opportunity to say, cool, I've got you pulling units back over here. Maybe I can do something with that kind of denial of positioning. Doesn't look like it though, Serral. In the end, is just going to lose a lot of this, and that was pretty much as good a defense as it was ever going to get from Cure. Here is the army moving forwards. If this doesn't do much as well, I'd say Cure's pretty happy. CC has to lift off, so still can't become a planetary again. We drop some more corrosive piles down, but Serral loses a fair bit himself this time, and obviously is once again able to afford the rebuild pretty darn quickly, but takes a few moments nonetheless. Yeah, that was definitely a better trade for Q than what we'd seen before. Serral on his way to that Spire again, accepting the later this game goes, the more he's going to have to play into and accept those later game scenarios. Spire Lings, +2 missiles, +3 melee. Everything is on the way through. Vikings are moving around. Well, a couple of Vikings is going to get some shots off. Vipers will take some damage. Some more shots coming through as we get Lings, Ultras, Ravagers. Continue to come about as well. Another shove from Serral down through the center. That's what Serral will continue to go for, just those shoves through the middle, trying to deny that 5th base. Now it's going to get up and online, though. This might be tougher for Serral to do much about. That's why stuff like the transition into the Spire and so on becomes very important instead. They'll just try and brute force their way down this ramp. Couple kills again, Serral backs it up. Money banking up for him, but we've seen this many a time where it feels so good for the Zerg. Where if they just trade a bit too badly, eventually the Terran turns it around, and Cure is one of those players who will absolutely hang on the idea of eventually. Lightning Cloud, but again, not really worth running down the ramp into this position, so we're not gonna risk it at all. Bane Ultra coming forwards again, more Ravagers continue to come over. Duck 2 of those Vikings. It's gonna go down. Third Viking in trouble as well. Yes, you don't. CC lifts off, gonna be moving away to the sides. Going to be pulling down to the bottom left-hand side as the medevac's still chilling overhead. Liberators, Vikings, siege tanks, all of that continuing through. Actually, Evo Chambers, Lings, and the +3 missile upgrade coming up as well. And get a hatchery down. If you take that base in mind from it as Serral, that's amazing. Just complete, utter domination of resources available on the map. Any resources you mine, your opponent cannot, and obviously bases that's eventually meant to be your opponent's. If he never gets to mine them, then that's just huge. Serral controls both corner bases at the moment as well. Also trying to move more further forward, trying to see what's up. Ravagers drop some barrels down. Siege tank will drop once again. Fill up your igniter, +3 vehicle weapons, extra libs and Thor still on the way up. Flying Cloud, siege tanks getting knocked down. Bane's crashing forwards, Ghost still taking hits. And Furious obviously making a bit of a stand, wants to slow push. Deny the bottom left gold, I guess, but the gold mines out so quickly. I feel like Kieran is going to be in a lot of trouble if he doesn't do something about the 3 o'clock base being taken by Serral. I feel like that's where he could really run into trouble. I love that he's not even minding that much on this base. Again, favoring the bases that are typically harder to hold, such as the corner bases. Just mining as much as he can from those and letting the rest be done. He's going to wrap around. Ghost goes down. Medivacs get pushed away. Scan coming about. A few drones going to go hiding in corners. And Serral is still looking pretty comfortable here. He's got money to spend right now, though, to get free max. He's going to build the Lings with it. Bane Ravager moves back up toward the top. We're going to start diving through. Blinding Cloud's going down. Couple units going to get chased back. Bio will be stimming. Ghost will be sat there. Tanks will be sieged up. A lot of these Lings and Banes continue to take a lot of shots. Ghost going to take a lot of hits as well. Taking a lot of damage there as Corrosive Battles will grab that Liberator. Liberator going down. Bane still continuing to establish as Hero's supplies dropped a little bit. He also has money to spend. Thing is, he will run out of money eventually. Because if he's going to pull in, Thor going to get repaired up. Coming back across that right-hand side. Couple ultras coming up, +2 fly attack coming in. I see some Ling Bane on the way through. Liberators, Ghost, Siege Tanks. All of that coming about right now as our Hellbats will get forward and pick away at the Extractor. So Extractor taking some damage. Here we go. Ultra Bane Ravager going to start running through. Ghost actually doing a pretty decent job. Ultras are still trying to get forward, so even trying to jump on this. Snipes coming down. Well, Nidus is off to the side, going to be taking some damage as well, as we do see the Ghost coming back across Hatchery, taking hits. Extra Corruptors, Ultras continue to come by. The Vipers are building. Ghosts, Hellbats, tanks continue to make moves. Additional Corruptors still on the way. Again, the Ultras coming up, plus 2 Flyer Carapace, Neural Parasites still getting built. More Lings continue to move around. Let's see, the Ling is actually going to get a grab there. Siege tank will fall. Couple libs will siege, couple Lings getting picked away at. Serral, obviously losing this base now. That's why I said it was very important for Kure not to let that base mine now, because he's going to need it himself. Many a Thor on the way as Kure continues to establish as much of a late game as he can get together right now, doing whatever he can in his power to, again, just survive. I mean, this is the right move. This is how Terrans play this matchup. This is how this scenario pans out 9 times out of 10 for a Terran. And sometimes it still does work from here. You know, oftentimes it feels as though it's not going to be enough, and then you actually do end up kind of, you know, just about being able to, you know, tug things into your favor. This could be very much so the case in this one as well. Bio, Ghosts, Vikings continue to gather up. You see that armoring coming up, and we got that going. Lingbane continue to come through. Biothor, Tank Ghost continue to come about. Sounds like Crows is going to go diving in. That's going to be a Liberator again picked off. Ultras will pick off the Siege tank. It's going to be a base on the bottom dead, but we might get a base on the top as Kure. Serral realistically probably doesn't care much about the minerals here, but the gas may be important further down the line. Gas often becomes a restrictive resource. At some stage in these ZvTs, you often end up having to just build Lings and Queens and nothing else. Hatchery top right goes down. Ghosts continue forward. The Thor's in position. Obviously, the fact there's a fresher base on the right side from Kure could be a big deal. The fact he's now mining that. If there's a way to outpace Serral at the end of the game, it comes from that base. Serral still has money banked and still mining a little bit here and there. Remember one thing Serral did do? And that's he didn't mine the 12 o'clock very heavily. He was putting all of his attention towards mining the top right, which is why the minerals are mined out there, or close to it. So that 12 o'clock position is one that Serral actually still has a pretty decent amount of income from. And you can see right now Serral's mining comfortably more than Kure, despite this top right base just being denied. So it does still look as though Serral will have the income to continue to set up here, and moves like this are obviously just very powerful. Liberators, Vikings are just getting gifted for the cost of energy. Just very efficient trades, and efficiency is almost always what TVZ comes down to at the end of the day. Things wrap around. Planetary Fortress will be in some trouble as base goes down. There wasn't much to mine from here. Maybe a couple of patches or so. But the thing that you do achieve by doing this is you do start to break through the kind of the base setup of the Terran. Eventually, you know, an attack on this base becomes an attack on the natural. That eventually becomes an attack on the, you know, the main base and the production lines. So losing position on the map can actually be a pretty big deal in these scenarios. That's definitely something that can add up. Flip, +3 vehicle plating, couple Thors, couple Hellbats, all still coming out. Army collects in the center once more. Let's see if the Corrupt is going to come through. Going to actually jump onto this sensor tower. Couple snipes and the Viper gets pushed away. Tanks coming out. Gonna be seeing the Ultras taking some shots. Serral is still on 58 drones, but Kira's only on 29 SCVs. So army supply-wise, Kira has a lot going for himself. Honestly, we load into Golden Horde between Serral and Kira. I'm really not surprised that we're ending up 30 minutes deep. You know, map is going to be more or less mined out. It's the kind of game that these two play against each other fairly frequently when they do play and when the map allows for it. And obviously Golden Aura absolutely excels at giving us mined out, long drawn out, kind of somewhat split map in scenarios. This map is just very, very good at that indeed. Let's shut about a few changelings drop down. Let's changelings back into position here. We just have ourselves the Broodlords on the move as well. Looks as though Serral's going to try and focus this top right base. This base not as important actually, but like I say, kind of clearing this position so you can get to the next base along where the mining is happening is likely Serral's main goal. As the first few Broodlings drop down, they begin to cause some troubles. Just coming across, gonna finish off the siege tank. Even just trying to deny the gas would be nice, right? As that fungal doesn't find anything at all, whiffing a little bit.
Mobile, siege tank goes down, our army's still on the move, couple of extra Thors on the way.
Plus 2 ship weapons coming up. Gonna have ourselves that, I believe, it's the medevac upgrade, right? GCS reactor. Don't get to say that one a lot. Here's gonna give up this location. Like I say, that location doesn't matter. What does matter is the next base along that base on the 3 o'clock. That's really his source of income at the moment. Serral, by the way, still has more mineral and gas mining. So, again, he continues to just mine so much more than his opponent does. He's going to find a collection of resources available down to the bottom here. There's actually a bit of minerals and gas on this 6 o'clock. So, good idea to retake it. Every few resources will count in these fights. They will go for a lot. Tanks, Hellbats, Liberators continue to come around. It's going to be seeing those Liberators getting sieged up. We've seen Brood still trying to pull backwards. Liberators setting up once again. Broodlord still going through. Siege tank taking some shots. We've seen a couple tanks continue to fire up. Army continues back over the left. Well, fungal growth's coming down. Bigger fights here now, and these are obviously where some of the important trades in this game will end up happening. So just blocking the fungal growth, locking down a lot of those units, getting a lot of value out of these fungals already. Those put him in a great position to continue through, and again, draining that bank of Cure down while his own bank stands pretty strong at the moment. Thor's, Libs, Ghost, +3 vehicle, ship weapons on the way as well, so Cure still has investments being made, a lot more lings coming out from Serral as he just, spends some of that mineral bank, still has a lot of gas to spend. Obviously just needs to slowly work his way through this army. He does not want to let this become too much of an immediate issue at any point. Burst firing, couple changelings going down. It continues to move across. Let's see the Brood's going to start dropping down. Thor's and siege tanks. He's taking some damage. Liberator is going to set up. Soldier's going to go. He's going to decide that this is his moment to make a play, as we are going to run the Banelings forward. So he absolutely believes in his power to kind of come through on this one. And he is just going to full send it. Both players drop a lot of supply. Serral begins the rebuild of Ling Ultra. That may be very difficult for Cure to compete with, as Cure's army supply will be lacking. His money is, well, gone. Serral gets a little supply block to the end, but 6 Infestors, 10 Ultras, 88 Lings. It's very much so a do-or-die army now from Serral. It's not really do-or-die because he's got money still to spend, but this feels like you need to get some value. And there we go. Ling Bane up to Brood. All continues out. There's a Lib getting sieged. Just gonna be seeing another scan coming about. We get settled down here. Serral's getting ready to go again. That's what he's settling down for. He's gonna run into it. Well, we've got a lot of ultras. I don't know if there's enough of an answer to ultras. There is a group of ghosts. But man, they only have so much energy. There's only so many snipes available. Cure plummets in supply. A 34-minute duel on Golden Aura goes the way of Serral, and Basilisk will win this series over Team Liquid. Very comfortable from Serral. I genuinely believe that pretty much all the way throughout this. Alright, let's get into it. Do it. There's going to be a Terran player from Liquid taking on Serral, and Berserk from Basilisk. On we go. Game number 2. As we get settled down, ready to begin, the depot will drop into place. So a few drones coming up. The SCV is on the way. Gonna drop the CC down. And we do have ourselves the SCV still continuing up. Pull on the way, drone on the way. Getting ourselves settled for a few early stages. Hanson to coming up too, so getting this up and running. No ace match is good for Basilisk. Yeah, they need as many points as they can get because I mentioned it earlier, but they had a rough start to the season, right? They lost some matches they shouldn't have lost, so anything you can do to minimize point losses now, aka going to ace matches, even if you win in an ace, is very good. So it is good to see Serral lock this one up. Can he get a map win at least? Factory Reaper coming through. Do you have the Lings, and the Ling speed continue to come about as well? I think we'll head down to the bottom. So I feel Ling's just going to move across. The Reaper is going to be chilling here. Again, a couple of SCVs coming about. Reaction to the factory on the way. CC still building up. And the Ling's gonna go chase that Reaper around just for a couple of moments. The Ling's already gonna start causing some mischief as they jump onto a set of structures on the low ground here. Serral already gonna start finding some damage. And Kiro's actually going to end up in a bit of trouble, so Reaper shows up and is going to start pushing this away. Marines pop out. But yeah, I mean, you deny a low ground depot, you have a CC up in the skies, not building SCVs already. Serral seeps into a little bit of a lead that he shouldn't typically have. And it's ZvT at this point. We started to take that little bit of an advantage, we started to run with that. We have a road drone coming up, Hatcher on the way, and plenty of drones coming into action as well. Now Zerglin's going to run up this ramp. A couple Marines are going to be there to push the Lings back again. Doing what they can for the moment. More Hellions, SCVs, all still building through. Queens and a Rotron in production as well right now. Yeah, Overlord here going to take a few shots off the Vikings, so a couple of hits there. Obviously, it would be nice for Kier to be able to grab an Overlord or so. And he's going to get it. Takes a few more hits on his Vikings in the process, but that's okay. Very manageable as our Zerglings try and come forward, but Hellions will be there to say, nah, not happening. Just going to push that back and deny that one for the moment. And reset we are at this point in the game. Hellions, Viking, Reaper. He's going to keep on poking. A little grenade goes down. Some of those Queens just going to pop around as well. See the rest of the Lings run over to the left. Hellions are going to be there, pushing that back, saying, not this time. So no luck found on that one. Gonna be there to fight the Lings one more time. Engineering base on the way up. Stimpack coming through. Banshee just popped out. A few more Marines on the way. The Roaches go after the Hellions there for just a moment or so. Got a nice for the Banshees. Get a couple of Roach kills. Knock some numbers down. Take some control back in your favor. And a couple Banshees coming up, creep. Getting denied, and the Banshee's gonna go and jump onto the extractors. And again, seeing these Banshees keeping map control, but not sure Serral is too afraid of that. He's got his tech all coming online. Hive, Hydrogen, playing the missile upgrade style as well, so we'll use that to transition through to Lurkers, and those Lurkers will have good upgrades from the very first moment that they are about. It's just bringing that through. Banshees continue back down to the southern side of the map. And it's going to be a little lift up. 2 medevacs load up and begin to move across to the upper right hand side, so away they go. Marine's gonna get an extractor. Gonna see a roach run taking a few hits. Hatchery as well. We actually see roaches running forwards here, and the Marines will load back into the medevacs and escape back away. In fact, still continuing through. We get a couple of Queens taking shots. Again, there is the Lurker den on the way up from Serral, so hitting that Lurker style on a map that's very easy to split the map on. Lurkers become very important. There's also a lot of ramps and chokes on this map. A lot of it is about kind of being able to push across to your opponent, and obviously the Lurkers will definitely stop that, and also very good at doing that themselves as well, so there's a lot that can be done and achieved with that. I think we imagine there's going to be a fair bit we see coming out of that over the next little while as this army continues to get established here. The Banshees continue to fire up a bit of a storm, some shots coming out and about, and they even find this hatchery. Lovely to see the Banshees still alive, because you give these up too early and you lose all of this map control you've been gaining throughout the game. So it is really nice to see that they are still up, running, and operational here. Kind of the dream scenario from a Terran is this hatchery should go down. The Banshees can just run bottom right and just get away from those Queens. They should always have enough time to get rid of that hatch, so that should be a cancel. Serral has taken the bottom left base of his opponent. There's something he's been doing on this map where he tries to take one of the bases off of his opponent and again just mine whatever he can from it. He did this during Dallas, during the finals against Maru, I believe. And if it wasn't that, it was in another ZvT he played in the tournament, but he was very aggressive. I think he was left side and he was fighting bottom, and he was left side and he took the bottom right base while Maru was kind of fighting over the center. So this is a more aggressive kind of stance on that, just taking a different location. But right now, Q's too busy to go and check over there, and even if Serral gets a bit of money off of that base, that's a win. Not sure how much he'll really get off of it, but I mean, it feels so easy for it to be denied, and yet the idea is so good, but it's so difficult to imagine it works. But if you can keep your opponent busy enough, maybe you genuinely can stop him checking there and stop him denying it before you get something. The problem I have is that how do you actually stop him from actually just like, you know, how do you actually mine from this without just risking like way too many drones and making this a completely unfeasible idea? He does lose his own forward base, so you can't even protect that. It's not like you're about to come out with a defense on that other location. Lurker drop into the natural is looking good. That looks as though it's going to get straight in here, and the Marines are moving up into the main base. Well, Lurkers are going to take position, and there's actually one Lurker that will head to the main. As the setup currently is looking decent, looks as though we're going to pick up on the fact that this Lurker is going to the main, so that will be denied. And this orbital needs to lift up, because the Lurkers are on their way to killing it. Will of course lift up because Kira is not going to let it orbital just die in a slow-moving scenario like this one. Could have been a little bit disastrous. Thing, Roach, Lurker still joining together. Finishing off another engineering bay. Hatchery gets denied. A couple Lurkers get burrowed up. Marines continue to make a move. Palafor, thank you so much for the 31-month resub on the Prime. You're 31 years old, but you only exist when sub to Warding. Thanks so much for the 31 months, man. I really appreciate it. Liberator gets abducted. Parasitic bomb goes down. A couple of Vikings get caught up already. Have a Hydro Soul pushing through. This base still not able to land, by the way. These Lurkers are still here. It's taking an eternity to get rid of. Way longer than I thought it would. Kind of surprised how long that took, as Roach is going to jump on this base now. Serral's turn to bring even more pressure. He is mining off that bottom left base, by the way. Again, any second he mines off of that location is such a good moment for him. And Serral is there to keep on putting out that advantage. That really is such a big deal. It's so good for you. The Lurker comes morphing in. Liberator overhead. Marines are going to come splitting about. Tank will unsiege. Our army's still gathering together right now. Going to siege up. Lurker's going to be in a bit of trouble, perhaps. Well, Viking's going to get on top of this Overlord already, putting some damage out. That's going to be a denial. Both Lurkers get out at least. Serral, does he actually get himself up this ramp? Would be amazing if he could have been, because obviously then you have access to the natural, and obviously you're camping out the third, so puts you in a pretty damning position to kind of control your opponent's setup. Doesn't quite get there just yet, though. For now, we settle it back down. Bio, Ghost, tanks all collecting together now. Plus the missiles on the way up, adrenal glands as well, so we're getting all of our upgrades for our lings. Just making those better and better and better. Lurker shots coming through. Obviously, morphs in overhead. 26 more lings coming about. Roaches, Hydra lings. Continue to come in here as our ghost. What are they doing? No! Oh, they keep on moving as well. Secure just wasn't fast enough to fix that issue. The Lurker behind the mineral line. Again, the fact Serral is just mining that bottom left base on his opponent's side of the map is such a huge deal. And every moment he keeps map control is one more moment where that base is just completely safe currently. So he just keeps getting away with it. He really does as well. Absolutely just getting away with it non-stop. That's brutal on the side of Cure. Like I said, I don't know what Cure really does to turn that around to get back into this. Gonna go jumping through. Roachbane Hydra has to retreat away. The Lurkers trying to get set up again. I think Serral's in no rush to go anywhere. Like I say, he's extremely happy and content just slowing down his opponent's opportunity to deny that bottom left base. As long as Serral's mining these bases, it's very difficult for him to ever truly lose this game. Unless he has one horrific fight and he never gets the full chance to rebuild. But obviously that's just extremely unlikely with the way that this is, well, with the way that you see Serral play. Can't imagine that is going to continue. Roaches going to get jumped on a little bit. Marines are going to be there. Roaches continue to go down. I mean, at this point, I wonder if Serral just doesn't want the roaches anymore and he's happy to build other things. Roaches do not really kind of represent good supply at this stage of a game. So, could definitely imagine that's something of a factor. Marines do the chop, going to go after some creep spread. Ling's going to run across. Those Marines get chased away as well. I'm just going to see the Ling's still going to go after some more of them Marines. Ling, Hydra, +3 melee, all coming up. Lib, tank, +1 vehicle, wet plane, and +3 armor upgrade coming through. Lib's going to join. Bio going to go bottom left. STV is dead. I mean, Kiro is only going to have so many bases to mine off of. The fact Serral is mining both bottom left bases is really ridiculous. It's amazing how utterly dominant he can be, and obviously, like, it's a 17-minute game, but was Kira ever really in any sort of control? The thing is, Serral's just so patient that the games go on a while, because his domination comes from just super strong later game setups and just setting up to win the game and dominate the game in the late game. It's very impressive what Serral does, and hard to really say any positives here from here, guys. I mean, this one kind of feels as though we're on the way to being done, dusted, and onto our next series of WTL today, because, yeah. It'd be cool to keep tabs on resources lost in games like this, yeah. If only our observer would show them. Unfortunately, we're on a clean feed, so I can't check myself. I think these are the kind of games where resource loss are extremely important, especially when you know that Serral is mining 2 bases that Kira will never get, because of the fact that they are Q's bases that Serral is mining. So maybe not the prettiest of fights, and yet Serral is still in a pretty alright position. And Festo avoids the scan, by the way, so is sat there ready to pop up for a cheeky little fungal. It's only got a little bit of HP, though, so you have to pick his moment very carefully. Banshee finally going to deny this base. Amazing. I mean, Serral has had so many resources off this location already that this was absolutely a win and a half a long time ago. Lurker going to find some more SCVs as well, as Kira's only on 34 workers. His army supply isn't that much larger. This base is still here. It may not be mining anymore, but it's still alive. Kira will make a little dive into the bottom left as well, realizing that the base is there, so he's actually going to be able to try and deny both of these positions. But like I say, Serral's mined so much off of them. Resources lost 28,000 to 24,000. Serral's about 4k behind. I can only imagine he's mined enough of these bases to make up for that. Because again, he's been mining off for them for a significant amount of time. At least if Serral gets, or if Hewitt gets rid of these bases, he can maybe slowly take one of them for himself, and then maybe we're back in business. Maybe we're talking again. Maybe then some things can take place. I think Bane wants to dive forwards. The Bowser's just going to pull back. The tank's getting sieged. I think Bane would love to kind of dive forward again. Now the tank getting sieged up at the front. The hatchery taking some damage. And we go once again. A couple of Vipers still nearby. We got ourselves some crystal shells building up as well. So continue to bring that into play. And get those Lurkers burrowed. Oh, massive shots. Off onto a group of ghosts. 11 SCVs going down. You're just going to say GG's. Serral absolutely dominates the last 45, 50 minutes of TVZ.